Hey, what's up guys? Evil Penguin Son here, and today I'm going to be installing SimplyMEPIS version 6.0 in a virtual machine. Here we go. I'm going to start up from the live CD. Should be taking a couple minutes, but that's no big deal. That's part of the process. I remember this boot slash screen, and it's been a long time since I've last run SimplyMEPIS. Last time I used SimplyMEPIS was back when I was in elementary school. That was many years ago. Looks like it wants to boot into the okay, I remember logging in. When you want to log in as demo, username was demo, or you want to log in as root, password was root. So I'm going to be logging in as root. It's been many years since I've last used MEPIS. I remember this login sound. Wow, there's so much memorabilia from using MEPIS. Like I said, last time I've used it was back when I was in high school. Alright, let's get started on this install. Oops, I double clicked instead of single clicked. MEPIS, unfortunately, now is a discontinued operating system, as the last release happened to be from 2011, and now it's 2018. This OS version 6.0 is from 2006. Yes, I'm going to use disk HDA. This is based off of Linux version 2.6. I'm installing this on a 12 gigabyte virtual hard drive. Custom or auto install using entire disk. And then I'm going to click next. Yes, I want to use the entire disk. My preferred distribution of Linux nowadays is Fedora, but this is my first preview of using Linux back when I was in high school. This was back in the days where KDE actually looked pretty. Oh yeah, let's look at the KDE desktop environment real quick. K menu, which really looked like Windows 95, 98 of the era, or 90s era. Everything looked really nice back in the day. Let's see what internet browser this came with. Firefox. Wow. That really surprises me. Since I'm installing this on a virtual machine, everything's installing really quickly. And even seeing that little aquarium thing, back in the day, back when I first tried installing this operating system, I was unable to even view that aquarium. The graphics card I had in my system was a Rage 3 8 megabyte card. I think I was 13 years old whenever I finally upgraded my graphics card, and that was to a Radeon 7000 series. Wow, and it just hit the new millennium. Even though yeah, it hit just new millennium graphics card. Even though I had no issues. Well, back to this. I didn't want to install Grub as my bootloader. Want to install on my MBR, boot disk HDA. Click next. Yes, I want to install a grub bootloader on my primary hard disk HDA. Cool, said install okay. Yes, I want my firewall. I want my PPP. Printer service. Alright. Let me click next. I love how it set up with MEPIS set up with the with trying to be everything the way it wanted to be. I'm gonna name this. SimplyMEPIS domain. And work group as Evil Sun. Click next. Yes, I want US keyboard layout. EN_US is my keyboard locale, or my locale. And yes, I don't want to change my time. Click next. Default login name. MEPIS really wanted you to have a strong username and password. I'm just gonna do Evil Penguin Sun. Password. Okay, gonna click next. It's gonna ask if I want to restart the computer. Of course I do. And it's gonna reboot the system. And then I'm gonna be in the SimplyMEPIS desktop as soon as it reboots. I'm running this off of an SSD, so I shouldn't have too much problem here as far as boot speed goes. Anyway, this for SimplyMEPIS version 6.0 is based on Ubuntu, which really surprised me that it was based off of Ubuntu. But I know later versions of SimplyMEPIS based itself off of Debian. Well, I prefer Debian as far as or I used to prefer Debian on my servers, but now I prefer Fedora, and yeah, things really changed since in 12 years. I was in 3rd grade when SimplyMEPIS 6.0 released. However, now I'm happy to be in where I am now. I love the background that this set up default. I like the logo of MEPIS because of the mountains and the moon, which really is cool. Anyway, as you can tell, there's the little aquarium thing on the bottom of the screen. Why is this not capturing right? I apologize about that. There it goes. But as you can tell, the K desktop environment has various menus, or the menu that looks like Windows 95, and even has a digital clock, which you can change to be a you can change this clock to be a plain clock, so it just looks like the system font. A digital clock which looks like a digital alarm clock, or I should say any digital clock. An analog clock similar to, or that looks like the clock thing from previous versions, or from Windows, previous versions of Windows. And there's also a fuzzy clock, so it just tells you what time it is in words. I'd prefer to have as digital clock, just because it looks nicer. It also includes a weather applet, unfortunately, this thing has not ran right for years. I take it because the server has been down for many years. I love how it says selected station Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm gonna correct that to Youngstown, Ohio, because I'm from the Youngstown area. Update. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, this weather service thing has been discontinued ever since. This is running on a desktop computer, so I shouldn't have any issue with that. Again, I'm running this on a Ryzen 5 1600 CPU and a virtual machine, so I have no problems there. However, everything seems to be running decently on this. Okay, the goal of MEPIS is to look and feel like previous versions of Windows. This is a beginner's Linux operating system, or a beginner Linux distribution, I should say. I'm going to open a terminal emulator just so I can see what version of Linux this is running. If I can find where the terminal emulator is. Aha, console. Okay, it's been up for 4 minutes, obviously, because I just restarted this computer. Yep, it's running on Linux kernel 2.6.15. Okay, it's running. It's running the testing version of Debian from 2000. Or this is the first one to be based off of Ubuntu. I'm so used to using another terminal emulator, aka my Mac. I'm running this on a Windows machine, so I know my terminal commands all too well nowadays. Back in the days of Linux, or back in 2006, as well, I had no knowledge of how to even update Linux in a terminal. I was using solely Windows at the time. But let's see what applications this distribution comes with. Okay, all applications, browse all. There's database, aka OpenOffice Base, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Access. There's text editors, Kate, Kedit, Kwrite, Nano, which is the terminal, OpenOffice.org writer. I have no idea what Xile is. Let's see. Oh, it's just a shell editor. Okay, I had no idea. The more I know. But as far as Office applications, it came with OpenOffice, spreadsheet, so Calc, Present, Contact, which is the contact manager, as well as database base. Anyway, this even came with a basic antivirus, Clam AV. The Synaptic Package Manager. This was prior to Linux having stores for their applications. So this was few years before Ubuntu brought out their software center. A backup system. Even multimedia. This came with audio player Amarok, K3B for burning CDs, KSCD as for playing CDs, and a sound mixer, KMix. which allowed you to kind of like what Windows Mixer does. System utilities, some accessibility stuff, obviously the clipboard and notes, even calculator, archiving tool, you get a floppy formatter, back when floppies were actually a thing. This even had a multiple desktop in it, or a multi-desktop capability. And this was pretty much Linux for dummies back in the day. Overall, this is a decent variant of Linux. Would I recommend it today? No, I would definitely recommend using either Ubuntu as a starter and or even Linux Mint, because things have definitely changed as far as how Linux works, and there's a lot more modern stuff now. However, this was just meant to be a get your foot wet in Linux and switch over. And anyway, a little bit of history on, or should I, I'm not gonna do that. MEPIS was introduced in the early 2000s as a to get away from Microsoft's Windows. I got immersed in Linux in 2004 with MEPIS version 3.3. So this variant of Linux is near and dear to my heart, as it got me into the Linux and open source software world. Anyway, I'm gonna shut down this virtual machine. And I like how it even has the KDE Dragon sleeping on the moon. Turn off this computer. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to thumbs up, comment, and be sure to subscribe to this video, or subscribe to my channel for this and extra content. Once again, I am Jonathan, Evil Penguin's son, and thank you guys so much for listening, and have a great day.